to this national conference titled Indus Civilization, Its Culture and People, Archaeological Insights. Our hearty welcome to all of you, sir. I request the crowd to kindly keep standing for the national anthem, which will be followed by Tamil Thai Vartha and then the college prayer song.
जनगण मन नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य विमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तब जय दाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்து கீழொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிது தெக்கணமும் அது சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிரமை திரும்பி அந்த செயல் பறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே
सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं ऋतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः वाणी गुणानुकथने श्रवणौ कथायां हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोर्नः स्मृत्यां शिरस्तव निवास जगत्प्रणामे दृष्टिः सतां दर्शनेस्तु भवत्तनूनां नमो भगवते तस्मै कृष्णायाद्भुतकर्मणे रूपनामविभेदेन जगत्क्रीडति यो यतः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you all. Kindly take your seats. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. May light be sought to eradicate the darkness. On that note, we will be beginning today's program on an auspicious note by lighting the Kuthuvilakku. I request our Honorable Governor to do the honors along with the other guests. request Dr. S. Santosh Babu, Principal, DG Vaishnav College, and Member Syndicate, University of Madras, to render the welcome address and welcome our guests and the gathering.
Jai Sri Krishna. Very warm good morning to all. On behalf of Dwarakadas Gorandas Vaishnav College, on behalf of Center for South Indian Studies, Chennai, I am delighted to welcome His Excellency, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, Thiru R.N. Ravi, for attending and inaugurating this national conference on Indus civilization, which is a culture and people archaeology insights. I'm very happy to note that always our Honorable Governor will be visiting our Dwarakadas Gorandas campus. If anybody requested to come, he will immediately accept and he will come for our institution to speak to our students of Vaishnav College. I'm very happy, sir. Once again, I'd like to welcome you for Dwarakadas Gorandas Vaishnav College. Your presence is truly privileged, and we are honored to have you join us in this conference, which is associated with our Sociology Department and Center for Social Indian Studies, Chennai. I also take this opportunity to welcome all other dignitaries who are present in this particular August gathering. Sri Ashok Kedia, Treasurer of our institution, and elderly person, and also who had done a lot of research on Saraswati Foundation Director, Mr. Kalyanaraman Srinivasan, Mr. Sandeep Kumar, Director CSIS, Mrs. Rama Devi, Director Center for Art and Excellence, our own head of the Department of Sociology, Dr. C. Sidambaram, who is all in the dais, and the man behind various shows also is there. One is Dharani Gunasegaran, is a research associates, and we have an expert speakers like Dr. Vasanta Sindhi, Dr. Jeevan Karakol, Dr. Uday Kumar, Dr. Divya Mukherjee, the other dignitaries who is pillar of our program, who is sitting in front of us, is also with us. He was working for the past 15 days with us for making this program. The idea behind this is we should not forget our tradition. The tradition plays a very important role for all. So the Indus Valley civilization, when he was coming to us to have a conference, we had a deep discussion, and he have correlated with the Tamarabarani river. Our civilization, mostly in South India, is a river Tamarabarani, where it starts in Tamil Nadu, ends in Tamil Nadu. So that is the perennial river. The banks of the Tamarabarani river, because I worked as a registrar at MS University, I know very well. The banks of Tamarabarani river, that they have lot of tradition, right from Tirunelveli, right from Tenkasi to Thoothukudi. A lot of the river banks, there is a lot of tradition, civilization have grown in Tamil Nadu. And like that, in north side, the Indus civilization is also like that, where we had a very good civilization in terms of agriculture, in terms of infrastructure, all these things, which is not known to the younger generation. So that is the main purpose of this national conference, where the DG Vaishnav College Sociology Department and the Center for Social Department have combined together doing this program for 2 days. It's a 2 days conference. We have invited many experts from various parts of the country, and they are going to have a deliberation with you. So as a Vaishnav College, you know very well that our college started in the year 1964. We are celebrating our Diamond Jubilee celebration, and also we are a A++ institution. We have around 11,500 to 12,000 students with 500 faculty members, and giving programs on various like arts, science, commerce, life science, basic science, social science, all programs we have. So we have a very good students community where they should know about the culture of the country. That is the main purpose of this particular conference hosted in our institution. So this is the main point we have to emphasize. You know very well that our Vaishnav College is doing a lot of conferences, Ideathon, Hackathon, and recently we have conducted a sports meet for the wheelchair basketball people, and recently we conducted a job fair for the differently abled people, combining with people. More than 100 people have been benefited. And every day, many experts in terms of academics, non-academics, they used to come to our institutions. We are having a great pride in welcoming all the experts from various regions to our institution, so that our student community who is sitting in front of me will be getting benefited. So ultimately, the main concept of this conference is we have to talk about Indus Valley civilization and also the civilization which has happened in our Tamil Nadu. That is the purpose of the conference. I like to welcome all the head of the departments of various departments, faculty members of our college, dignitaries from other institutions are there, and almost all things, my dear student friends. The students plays a very important role for our country. So I like to welcome you all. And I like to welcome the press and media, where what deliberation is going to take place in our conference, that will be known to the outside world only through press and media. I like to welcome press and media. Once again, I like to welcome one and all present in the dais and off the dais. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much for your warm welcome, sir. Now, it is time for us to honor and felicitate our guests. Firstly, I request Dr. Santosh Babu, Principal, DG Vaishnav College, to felicitate our Honorable Governor, Shri R.N. Ravi. Now, Thiru Ashok Kedia, Treasurer, DG Vaishnav College Trust, is doing the honors to our Honorable Governor. Now I request our Honorable Governor, sir, to do the felicitation to the other guests. Firstly, I request him to honor Dr. S. Kalyan Raman, Director, Saraswati Foundation. Thank you, sir. Next, I request him to honor Thiru Ashok Kedia, Treasurer, DG Vaishnav College Trust. Thank you, sir. I now request you to honor our Treasurer, Thiru Ashok Kedia. Thank you, sir. Now I request you to honor Dr. Santosh Babu, Principal, DG Vaishnav College. Thank you, sir. Now I request you to felicitate Thiru P. Sandeep Kumar, Director, Center for South Indian Studies. Thank you, sir. Now, I may request you to honor Dr. Ramadevi Shekhar, Director, Center for Art and Excellence. And now I request you to felicitate Dr. Chidambaranathan, Head of the Department of Sociology, DG Vaishnav College. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, all of you. Now, I call upon Dr. Ramadevi Shekhar, Director, Center for Art and Excellence, to have a few words with us, who will be introducing us the agendas of this national conference. We welcome you, ma'am.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste, one and all present here. Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, esteemed scholars, distinguished guests, Shri Kalyan Ramanji, and enthusiastic participants. First of all, the topic of today is Indus Valley Civilization. I'd like to unveil the seminar today. It is both a privilege and an honor to welcome you all to this seminar, where we embark on an intellectual journey to explore one of the most enigmatic and sophisticated civilization of the ancient world, the Indus Valley Civilization, often called as IVC, recognized for its urban planning, economic networks, the artistic achievement, technological advancement. The Indus civilization, the Saraswati Valley civilization, challenges traditional historical narratives and continues to redefine our understanding of early human society. The 100 years of the Indus Valley civilization, the reflection and ongoing research, Harappa's discovery has reshaped Indian and South Asian history. The focus has shifted to DNA studies, climatic analysis, and re-examining the Harappan legacy in modern cultures. The recent excavation in Rakhigarhi, Dholavira, Birhana, Farmana, and Kunal suggests that Harappan civilization evolved locally in the Indian subcontinent, leaving behind a legacy of tradition and civilizational continuity. The rediscovery of Indian civilization happened in the 1920s, was a watershed moment in the history of archaeology. Until then, South Asian history was believed to have a significant cultural gap between the Neolithic period and the emergence of early historic societies. The discovery of Harappa and the Mohenjo-daro changed this perception, revealing an advanced age civilization contemporary with Mesopotamia and Egypt. This civilization, which flourished over several millennia, stretched across the Indus and the Hakara river valleys, encompassing modern-day Pakistan, northwestern India, and parts of Afghanistan. Despite the partition of 1947, Indian archaeologists have unearthed over 2,000 Harappan sites, with more than two-thirds of them located within India, from Jammu in the north to Gujarat and Maharashtra in the south. The recent excavation and notable discoveries, we have our honorable, well-renowned archaeologist of Deccan College Vice Chancellor, Mr. Dr. Vaitsan Shinde is there. He will be talking about the recent discoveries and the notable excavations. Kalibangan provided evidence on the Harappan plowed field, indicating the civilization's agricultural expertise. The Lothal in the Gujarat, the earliest known man-made dockyard, highlighting the maritime trade and the shipbuilding capabilities. Farmana in the Haryana, wherein the chemical analysis of the pottery confirmed the presence of Indian curry ingredients and revealing the early culinary traditions. Dholavira in the Gujarat, a site that offers deep insights into the water harvesting, reservoir systems, and the urban planning. Rakhigarhi in the Haryana, the largest known Harappan settlement. Tomorrow we have our ADG of ASI department, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Manjul, will be talking about these studies, where DNA studies have shed light on the genetic continuity of the South Asian population. The Society of Skilled Artisan, Traders and Farmers we are going to deal, wherein we'll be throughout the seminar, we'll be talking about the pottery, jewelry, sculptures, figurines, seals and inscriptions. We have a very interesting lecture about the Indus script also. By the script is codified, and we are going to talk about the agriculture and irrigation innovation. The Harappans were the pioneers in the irrigation technology. They have cultivated wheat and barley, rice, cotton, and apart from that, we have a very great economical trade work, where Harappan economic success was built on the extensive trade network reaching Mesopotamia, Persia, Central Asia, and South India. Evidence which includes Harappan seals found in the Mesopotamian cities, indicating strong commercial ties, the presence of lapis lazuli, carnelian beads, and metalwork, proving the movement of goods across vast distances. Maritime trade markers, along with the Tamrabarni River, linking the Harappans to the South Indian trade networks. The themes of the seminar, the new excavation discoveries, wherein Dr. Shinde will be talking about the discoveries. The Harappan knowledge system, once again, Dr. Shinde and Jeevan Karakwal, the well-known archaeologists, they will be talking about us. The governance, economy, the cultural continuity were crucial to the Harappan society. We explore the standards, weights, measures, ensuring the far trade, writing and communication system. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the writing and the communication system, and the script also codified. The genetic evidence from Rakhigarhi, reinforcing the Harappan continuity in the South Asia. Maritime trade, the Tamrabarni connection. The Tamrabarni river holds a key evidence of the Harappan trade with South India. The pottery artifacts resembling the Harappan material culture along with the river banks. Seals and weights supporting long-distance commerce. Connectivity with the other civilization is on the topic. Harappans actively engaged in trade and cultural exchanges. This is evident from the Harappan seals found in the Mesopotamia, proving the economic ties. The shared iconography, we have the bronze expert, Dr. Uday and Diya Mukherjee will be talking about the artistic motifs and the bronze, reflecting the ideological references, religious and ritual practices, deciphering the Harappan religions life remain challenging, yet significant discoveries include the Pashupati seal, possibly depicting the proto-Shiva figure, resonating with later Hindu iconography, terracotta figurines of deities hinting at ritual worship, fire altars suggesting possible Vedic or sacrificial traditions, artifacts and cultural expressions, musical instrument and gaming pieces indicating the recreational activities, silver and copper dinner set showcasing the fine craftsmanship, debates on the decline. The theories regarding the decline of Indus civilization remain contested. The key consideration include the climate shift and the drying of the river Saraswati, shift in the trade routes and the economic instability, internal socio-political disruptions, the DNA evidence challenging the Aryan migration theory. Rather than an abrupt collapse, recent research suggests a gradual transformation with Harappan traditions persisting in the subsequent culture. Despite a century of research, the Indus-Saraswati civilization continues to intrigue with its unanswered questions and unsolved mysteries. This national conference invites you to be the part of this ongoing discovery. As we uncover new layers of the Saraswati-Indus civilization, its silent stones remind us that history is not just about the past, it shapes our present and future. I'll repeat, the silent stones remind us that history is not just about past, it shapes our present and future. As we bring together archaeologists, historians, and scholars, we aim to critically reassess the established theories and foster new avenues of exploration. This Saraswati Indus civilization was not just an ancient society, it was a dynamic, thriving, and resilient culture whose legacies continue to shape our understanding of human history. Let us unravel the mysteries of Indus Valley civilization together. Welcome you all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your enriching words. We now have an audio-visual presentation to be played about Dr. S. Kalyan Raman, Director, Saraswati Foundation, and a renowned archaeologist who has highly contributed to the Indian history through his extensive researches on the Indus-Saraswati civilization.
Around percent of the sites are Saraswati Nadi Tirtha irukku. The Saraswati Nadiya kandupidichachu. Future of the nation depends upon unity of the people. The Saraswati river flowed from the Himalayas up to ரிக்வேதத்தில் நிறைய நதியை பற்றி சொல்லியிருக்கான். பட் சரஸ்வதி நதியை பற்றி and the 400 people who are participating in this gathering, Saraswati Sindhu civilization as defined. Devi Tame Saraswati, Aprasasta Vasmasi, Prasastim Amparaswati. Amma, எனக்கு ஒன்றும் தெரியாதுமா, நீ ஒரு பெரிய நதி, நீ பெரிய அம்மா, நீ தேவி. அந்த நதி தீரத்தில் தான் நம்ம கலாச்சாரம் உண்டானது. அங்கே தான் ஹரப்பன் சிவிலைசேஷனுங்கிறான், இண்டஸ் வேலி சிவிலைசேஷனுங்கிறான். அதை இப்போ நம்ம சரஸ்வதி சிந்து சிவிலைசேஷன் சொல்ல முடியும். ஏன்னா 60% ஆஃப் சைட்ஸ் எல்லாம் சரஸ்வதி நதி தீரத்தில் இருக்குது. அந்த சரஸ்வதி நதியை கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு. அதுதான் பெரிய விஷயம். கங்கா இருக்கா, யமுனா இருக்கா, சரஸ்வதி எங்கே? சரஸ்வதி எங்கே போய் கீழே இருக்காளா? எங்கே இருக்கா? பட் நான் திரிவேணி சங்கம் சொல்கிறோம். ஏன்? அதுதான் இஷ்யூ. ஸோ சரஸ்வதியை கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சா? கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு. இந்த 2600 ஆர்கியாலஜிக்கல் சைட்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அது ஒரு பிளாங்க் மேப் எடுத்துங்க. மார்க் பண்ணுங்க, ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக சரஸ்வதி ரிவர் வந்துடும். ஏன்னா 60% sites are on the banks of the river Saraswati. Entire structure of the civilization has been conclusively established on the banks of this great river called Saraswati. Future of the nation depends upon unity of the people. There are a lot of forces at work to divide the nation. This historical sequence of the deciphermental script shows that people are working together. Unity. எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து இருக்கணும்ப்பா. See, எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து வேலை பண்ணால் ஒரு ஸ்ரேணி ஒன்று பண்ணால் we can conquer the world. See, we should not try to divide among ourselves. See, if we are able to get work together and share it, whatever wealth we create is not for our own. It's to be shared with people. கிரிபியா சமுத்திராத், மலையிலிருந்து சமுத்திரம் வரலே போகக்கூடிய நதின்னு சொல்கிறோம். சரஸ்வதி எஸ்கேப் பண்ணுறோம். அதை சயின்டிஃபிக்காக ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுறோம். சேட்டலைட் ஒர்க்கு, கிரவுண்ட் வாட்டர் ஒர்க் டெஸ்டிங் எல்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு we are able to show the Saraswati river flowed from the Himalayas up to Gujarat. அதை ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுறோம். That is, the Veda mention has been matched with the scientific information. ரிக்வேதத்தில் நிறைய நதியை பற்றி சொல்லியிருக்கான். பட் சரஸ்வதி நதியை பற்றி 72 ஸ்லோகம் இருக்குது. ஒன்லி ரிவர். ஏன்னா அந்த மேஜர் ரிவர், அந்த ரிவர்லாம் எல்லாம் வாழ்ந்துருக்காங்க மக்கள்லாம். ஸோ த வேதிக் சிவிலைசேஷன் சீம்ஸ் டு பி சரஸ்வதி சிவிலைசேஷன். அது டெக்ஸ்ட். Now archaeology has proved it. Now the decipherment also will prove it. The proof is, Mahakumbh is a proof of the existence of a culture that has been sustained for thousands of years. So the one trait of using the talent for the common good is the one lesson that the entire world has learned from us. Youth must remember what our elders have done for us. That should become a model. Children must get involved in researching about our ancient past, researching about our present condition, and what we do for the future. What I have learned so far in my life, Saraswati Sindhu civilization has defined our lives, has defined our past, has defined our purpose in life. This must become the hallmark of what we can achieve in coming years. We have been proved to be a very vibrant democracy for thousands of years. Go and visit the area that is mentioned as Saraswati civilization. Saraswati civilization did not only exist only within the river banks of the river Saraswati. It was spread all over the country. A lot of supporting systems were there, from the south with iron, from Rajasthan, from Mekong Delta. So there are a lot of supporting systems. Unfortunate that we were enslaved. We lost our freedom. And during that loss of freedom, we lost our properties. Our wealth was looted. Trillions of dollars was looted from our country. Should we allow that to happen again? How to prevent that? It can be prevented only if we have unity among ourselves. It's our responsibility to take the civilization forward and glorify this Saraswati civilization. This is our defining civilization. This defines the Bharatiya civilization. This is our country. We must be proud about being born in such a great land, with such great people. And the 400 people who are participating in this gathering should go back with this message of only one word: inquiry, inquiry, inquiry. I have no doubt in my mind that whatever contributions I have made will stand the test of time. That will carry forward for years to come.
Thank you very much for this wonderful AV team. Wasn't that phenomenal? Make some noise. Very poor. Okay, so now it is time for us to honor this phenomenal personality. So I now request our Honorable Governor Sir to kindly honor Dr. Kalyan Raman Sir with the Lifetime Achiever Award. He has dedicated his entire life in uncovering the true history of Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. I now request our chief guest for the day, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Shri R.N. Ravi, to take over the stage and kindly address the gathering.
Dignitaries on the dais, Thiru Santosh Babu, principal of this D.G. Vaishnav College and the host of the event, most respected Thiru Kalyanaraman Srinivasan, who has dedicated his life to tell the truth of this civilization, Thiru Ashok Kedia, treasurer of this college, Thiru Sandeep Kumar, Director, Center for South Indian Studies. Thiru C. Chidambaranathan is the head of this department which is hosting this event in collaboration with CSIS. Thirumati Rama Devi Sekar, Director, Center for Art and Excellence. Distinguished experts, invitees, faculties, my dear students. Coming to D.G. Vaishnav College is always a very, very delightful experience for me, because this is one institution which has been not only imparting quality education, it has been imparting, I would say, not only quality knowledge, but quality education, knowledge with values. In the academic parameters, it has been doing very well. We heard A++. But I have seen the students coming out of this, they are imbued with certain values which are very critical to our identity, to who we are. I'm happy to be part of this event because it's a 2-day seminar on this civilization, a particular civilization that defines who we are. Center for South Indian Studies, I would like to thank them to take initiative and in collaboration with D.G. Vaishnav College come up with this 2 days event where as speakers, experts will be talking about the most ancient civilization, which is not a dead civilization, it is a living civilization. But there are challenges. There are challenges to this civilization. And I would urge the experts to address those challenges and the students to be inquisitive with open mind. Because I am not aware whether any other civilization has been suffered so much violence by the vested interest in the last 200 years as this civilization. The first assault was by the Europeans. For them, it was a necessity. In the middle of the 19th century, by then, Europe had almost colonized the whole world, barring Soviet Russia. Before it became Soviet, Tsar was a powerful person. He could resist. Tsar himself was an imperial power. Japan and a part of China. Rest of the world was colonized by Europeans. Entire America, north, south, the whole of Africa was colonized, and the whole of whole of Asia, except Japan, part of China, and Soviet Russia, the whole world, they had colonized it. All kinds of atrocities were happening. they needed a justification for imperialism. They needed a moral and intellectual argument to justify what they were doing. And I would urge the students to listen it carefully. They needed a moral and intellectual argument to justify imperialism capturing the whole world, annihilating the native people of America, annihilating the people of Australia, colonize the world, suppressing the whole world. And in the quest of that, they came up with two arguments. One, of course, was they said, the moral justification, they said, it was to spread the gospel because the rest of the world was in darkness. So they needed to do that. But other argument which they found was, which began with the 1850-53, when they came up with race theory. Arthur Comte de Gobineau, he wrote 4 volumes, Inequality of Races. He created the first intellectual argument that there are 3 races in the world, white, yellow, and black. And white is the superior race, is the master race. He came up with the argument that all these 3 races had inhabited the different parts of the globe and they immersed in their respective areas. But the white race was the superior race. It was handsome to look at, and it was intellectually the smartest. That unleashed a chain reaction of subsequent enterprises by so-called intellectuals. People started coming up with measuring the skull, what they called cephalic index, the length and the breadth of the skull. People with the vernier caliper, they started measuring the people. They did it here in our country. You go and see the records in the archives, what all they did, measuring which race you are, to find out races and sub-races. On the back of that came Darwin's theory, a hypothesis which they exalted to the level of a scientific fact. And what Darwin said, the smartest shall survive, and it is the destiny of the weak to perish. As simple as that. His theory of evolution is nothing else than to say that in the evolutionary process, it is the smarter one that survives, and not a smart, dumb one will perish. So perishing the dumb one was a natural, their natural destiny, nothing to worry about it. Now the race theory and the Darwin's evolution theory, which of course Darwin's cousin, Francis Galton, came up with the theory of cultivation of races, eugenics. All this is happening in 1850 onward. That they must have the pure race. Then of course, Nietzsche came up with Übermensch, superior man. And who was the superior man among, of course it was the white races. Now in this process, they justified occupying the rest of the world because they say those, in fact, Winston Churchill, when the annihilation was going on in Australia, natives were being killed. In America, of course, they had already completely annihilated them. When the questions were raised, Churchill is reported to have said, his most notorious quote, dog in the manger. You know what is manger? The big ball in which the cattle eat. He says, if the dog is sitting in the manger, that doesn't mean that manger belongs to the dog. It belongs to us. Race theory. So superior race, it was their destiny to rule the world, and others was to perish, to be subservient. This. While all this was happening, there was a German, Schliemann. This German was actually a businessman. He used to excavate places and used to dig up things and used to artifacts, old things, antiques, also gold and silver, and used to trade. While he was doing the excavations of city of Troy, we know the city of Troy, the Battle of Iliad. He came up with large number of potteries and stuff with mark, what we call swastika. And he found that in different parts, so some other parts of the Europe also. And then he was wondering, what is this? It resembles to the gamma letter in Greek, part of it. And in the course of it, he wrote, one of the letters that he wrote was to Max Muller. His name we have all heard. What damage he has done. What distortion he has done. He was a professor of philology in Oxford, and he had studied Sanskrit. He had written more than 50 books, sacred texts of the East. So when Schliemann wrote to him also, what does it mean to try to make a sense of it? And then Max Muller responded in his letter that this is found mostly in Indian literature, Vedas and Indian scriptures, ancient scriptures. It is called swastika. And it is a sign of prosperity. First, he also said that it represents sun god. And then, this swastika was captured by this. Swastika came into being, they said. And then he used the word, maybe the Aryan nations have used this symbol as, he came with the Aryan as a nation, as a sign of prosperity. It got currency, Aryan. Never before Aryan as a race anywhere it appeared. None of our Indian literature, either Sangam literature nor the Vedic literature, they have used the word Aryan as a race. In fact, we have our own Tamil literature, more than 2,000, 2,500 years old. None of them have used the word Aryan as a race, none. We know in our literature, in our ancient Aryan, what is Aryan? Because why I'm coming to this is, because this is linked with this. And I was disappointed, I must say, and I'm not disappointed so much primarily because when we heard the computer scientists talking about our tradition, Tamar Bharni, and there is an Indus tradition of the north, it is out of ignorance, and it's not his fault. He is a scientist, computer scientist. But in the last 60, 70 years, Dravid ideology has created a narrative of the differences, the Aryan and Dravidian. Aryan as a race. I'm coming to that. How did the Aryan as a race theory came up? It emerged. It emerged out of compulsion of the Europeans first to find justification for imperialism controlling the whole world. So Max Muller used the word, in the letter respond, Aryan nations could be using this as a symbol of prosperity and also the symbol to reflect God, sun god. It got currency. And in that background, later subsequently Hitler, you know how the Nazi party took up this superior race when Nazi, that's Übermensch, that superior man, master race. And there they came up that the Aryans were the master race And Germans were the pure Aryans. And they moved to different places. They also invaded India. When they got the documents showing that what an advanced civilization it was, they attributed it to the Aryans. But they say that races got contaminated with this, miscegenation, mixing the blood. But the pure one remained in Germany and neighboring Europe. Aryan as a race, Aryans invading India, it got so much into literature, so much into it, that we were all, as a student, though in college I studied science, physics, but in the school text we all learned this, how Aryan came from outside. Great people, well-known nationalists, great scholars could not escape this Aryan invasion theory because there was so much all around written about Aryan invasions all over. And in this, a lot of our own people also contributed. And I must say, a significant share also goes to archaeologists. They also have tried to come up with theories in support of that. Maybe because the ruling dispensation, why past is relevant? Why are we talking about Indus civilization today? Why past is relevant? If it is dead and gone, why? It is only academic interest, don't waste time on it. It is relevant because, first of all, this past is a living past. Because if more than 66 crore people went to Mahakumbh, how did they go? Who gave them the invite? Lakhs and lakhs of people from Tamil Nadu went. Nobody invited them. They went on their own. Railways had to run special trains. A living civilization. A living civilization. And this living civilization, which originated from there, it becomes important for us as a nation, as a Rashtra. And we must know about it. And I urge the scholars, please decolonize it. Our Prime Minister has given a call. And rightly so, the nation has a call now. One of the Panch Pranes, decolonize ourselves of the last vestiges of colonization. Remove the last vestiges of colonization. When I heard about Indus civilization, and I was hearing the feeble voice of Thiru Kalyanraman's Srinivasan, Saraswati Sindhu civilization. What is this Indus civilization, by the way? We know that this civilization was not just along the Sindhu river. First of all, as people here have difficulty calling Bharat, they have so much got India that they have difficulty calling Bharat. Though the people of this country for thousands of years never called it India. But our people will have difficulty. So similarly, we say Indus. We have difficulty calling it Sindhu. Now, is it a Sindhu civilization alone? Experts are sitting here. They will bear with out and they will discuss about it. This civilization grew along what we call Sapt Sindhu, Saraswati and Sindhu. Our Rig Veda, in the Nadi Shukta, it mentions about 10 rivers from Ganga to Sindhu. From Ganga to Sindhu, we have 10 rivers. And among them, the 7 rivers, which we call Sapt Sindhu. Sindhu, Satluj, Jhelum, Ravi, Chenab, Vyas, and Saraswati. These 7. This Saraswati doesn't exist today. And that made the critics of Indian civilization, because British had to downgrade our civilization because they had to say that you were in dark ages. They could not accept the fact that India was such a great civilization, notwithstanding the fact that at the time of colonization, British scholars had admitted how advanced was the India's civilization. But that was in the later part of the 18th century, after the Battle of Plassey, when they started colonizing and capturing the territory. I'll just tell you one letter, how they have described India's civilization. When 1765, when they had taken over the control of Bengal de facto, large number of British scholars started visiting India. They started unearthing, looking into the India's past, and they were completely astounded. They were apprehensive that, like other places like America and other places and Latin America, these people went and destroyed the whole thing. Here, this will also be destroyed. So a group of professors from Edinburgh University wrote to the British government to commission large number of people to discover, collect, and translate the works of the ancient Hindus. This is the language used. Discover, find out where these are. Collect, take it, and translate. Because this will enrich European science and broaden European thought process. Anyone who has got curiosity, you can go into it. It was a March, if I remember correctly, 1788. Macnaughey was the professor of Edinburgh, who had written it to the British. He says, this will enrich European science and broaden the European thought process. Remember, that was the time when Europe was in the so-called Renaissance, having an age of reason. They was talking about all the intellectualism and the preeminence of reason. So this will enrich the science and broaden the thought. And then they said, this will help us understand, mark the words, it is a Macnaughey word, not mine. It will help us understand the celebrated people are Hindus, from whom Moses received his learning, and Greek their art and religion. Moses came 1,000 years before Jesus Christ. This was the admission of the British scholars at the time. But subsequently, at the beginning of the 19th century onward, when the need for consolidation of empire became preeminent, they suppressed that. And they started collecting all these and downgrading the Indian civilization, calling it even in dark ages. In that process, they said that no, Veda was a fiction. Where is Saraswati? Saraswati river doesn't exist. And we know that in the Rig Veda, scholars will bear me out. Saraswati has been mentioned several times. Someone says that more than 50 times. Of the 10 mandalas, in 9 mandalas, Saraswati, because even today in archaeology, when we have found the locations of the 7 major cities, 5 of them are located in Saraswati Basin. Whether it is Rakhigari, Dholavira, Lothal, Kalibangan, all these are in Saraswati. In Sindhu, there are only 2, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. But Saraswati doesn't exist. Saraswati has mentioned even in Mahabharata. Mahabharata, it mentions about Saraswati in Salya Parva. That when Mahabharata war was happening, elder brother of Sri Krishna, Balaram, who was not happy with this war, he said, no, I will not be with either side. And he went on a pilgrimage on holy places on the banks of Saraswati. Kalidas has written in his Kumar Sambhavam that Saraswati meets ocean near Somnath. Subsequent discovery, 1980 onward, when they're imagining through the space imagery, NASA's Landsat satellites, their images, and later our ISRO, they have conclusively proved how Saraswati originated and how it moved. Between Yamuna and Satluj, this river ran through. Nuclear physics, as a study of radioisotopes of hydrogen and oxygen, has established the time when Saraswati dried up, approximately around, experts as usual may or may not agree, but general thinking is about 2,500 years before the Common Era. It dried up. First, it changed some courses, its course. Yamuna and Satluj were tributary of Saraswati. Later, Yamuna became tributary of Ganga and Satluj to Sindhu. And the river dried. Tectonic shift, climate change, all these things happened. This Aryan invasion, Aryan came from outside. Aryan as a race, and Vedas are myth. Even in our literature, we say Saraswati is a mythical river. You know what is myth? A lie which is repeated many times becomes a myth. It's not a myth. It was a reality. Now today, scientifically it has been established through satellite imagery and through nuclear physics that Saraswati existed, and also approximate time when it dried up. Now in this civilization, this large civilization in the Sapta Sindhu, it gave rise to those thoughts, those wisdoms, those texts, which became eternal. When Vedas gave us the light, that the entire creation is a family, the Creator having created the entire creation is present in every element of the creation. We are all one. Not only humans, the plants and animals, we are all part of the same. Integrally and organically connected. This revolutionary thought was revealed in the Rig Veda during that time. And by the way, the time of Mahabharata and Rig Veda also has been by and large established. Because we know that it has been now established that Rig Veda happened at least 2,000 years before Mahabharata. And Mahabharata happened about 3,100 years, approximately. That is the general assessment. And all this has happened not through a speculation, through fixing the planetary position. So not planet, constellation. Planets keep changing. When the modern science, modern astronomy, with all these, we have been able to fix it. These are not fiction, these are not stories. As I was reading some of the works of E.V. Ramaswamy Nayak, E.V. Ramaswamy says that Aryans were barbarians, they came and invaded, and they were all drunk, intoxicated, they were dancing and singing, and that song they imagined all these things that happened in Ramayana and Mahabharata. They are all intoxicated songs of these drunken barbarians. Europeans said, no, since there was no Saraswati, there is nothing. Now this, first of all, when I say decolonize, let us stop calling it Indus civilization. Can't we call it Saraswati Sindhu civilization? Is it not a fact? If it is a fact, then let us accept it, let us call it. Let us not use those. in our own country, here in this very land, we have a Dravid ideology that believes in that Aryan and Dravidian separate races. Groundwork was done by Caldwell, Robert Caldwell, who wrote the book. Absolutely anyone with a critical eye will read it and will find it's all nonsense. Grammar of Dravidian languages. Dravidian languages, not only Tamil, all Dravidian. But over the time, rest of the Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, they have moved away. They have no problem. Somehow here, ideology is limited to here. They say, no, we are a separate, linguistically a separate group. We have nothing to do with the rest. And then race, Dravid separate race, Aryan separate race. These lies have created a political ecosystem which is threatening the unity and integrity of our nation. The history and the truth of Saraswati Sindhu civilization has to come out in intellectual and public discourse. Intellectuals cannot be just, and our intellectuals have done a lot of harm, there's no doubt about it. Because even after independence, we know that after independence, intellectual space was captured by Marxist ideologues. And Marxist ideologues, they were very loyal to their patron saint, God, Karl Marx. And what did Karl Marx say? Karl Marx, he wrote in 1852, 20 essays he wrote in New York Daily Tribune, where he said, the running theme of all his essays was, British Empire has two tasks in India. Total annihilation of India's social order. Because in India, people, they worship cows and monkeys. And collective is so powerful that it doesn't allow individual to grow fully. Because they believed in individual sovereignty. That is the basis of the Western political thought. Individual is sovereign, collective has no place. Collective is made out of individual through contract. That is a social contract theory. So, Karl Marx said, the British must perform two tasks in India. First, total annihilation of India's social order. Because they are all barbarians. They must be destroyed. And second task, to lay the foundation of Western material civilization. So if Marxist ideologues, and historians so-called, if they do that, nothing wrong in that, because they are only being loyal to what Marx said. Our own people, D.T. Kosambi, I wonder how he is called historian. He was everything. He was a mathematician, he was a doctor, medical doctor, he was all not. He wrote, he talked about all this, how dark was our past. And this has been carried forward by subsequent Marxist historians. This has found place in our textbook. Even earlier time, Dr. Tarachand, who was also an archaeologist, what he did? He came up with a thesis when he was in 1922 in Oxford, Oxford Queen's College. He came up with a thesis, Influence of Islam on Indian Culture, and there he says, Alvars, Nayanars, Sankaracharya, Ramanujacharya were all deeply influenced by Islam. I mean, preposterous. But Dr. Tarachand was advisor to the government of India in the initial decade of our independence. They are the people who shaped our curriculum, our text. For a very long time, we kept looking down upon our civilization. And as far as the Saraswati Sindhu civilization is concerned, Dravid ideologues are at pains to find out as much literature as possible. And that is what you find their commissioned retired bureaucrats writing books, how it is different. Their argument is that this civilization, now they use the word Indus civilization. Indus civilization was actually their civilization. Aryans, barbarians came, they attacked, and we moved south. the fact that no such conflict is mentioned in any of our ancient literature, neither in Tamil nor in Sanskrit. Both are the oldest literature in the world. And nothing is mentioned. Even subsequently, as late as, I'm not aware, I think experts would be able to throw better light. But I came across an article, a piece, a research paper in Harvard Medical Journal Cell, CELL, in as late as 1919. When they did this DNA study of the skeletons found in various parts, they found there is a homogeneity. There is nobody from outside. There was no mark of any injury on any of them. People, if they had come from outside, there could have been some differences in terms of genetics. It wasn't. Then they come up saying that in Veda they are talked about cows, but there is no imagery of cow. But the fact is you have plenty of bulls. Bulls imageries are there. Now can you think of bulls without cows? You know, all they have been at pains to find out, to say that that civilization here, it is relevant to us. Europeans are now, they are doing away with the race theory and all, at least intellectually, and they are at pains to keep distance from that. And so they don't talk much about the race theory and Aryan theory and all. But here in our own state, there is a reigning ideology that believes and that has been creating, churning out literature. Polemical literature, not well researched, I must say. Polemical literature is you have a viewpoint and you create a document to support that viewpoint. It's not an independent study. They have been at pains to come up that, look, we are different racially. We are different. It is a different civilization. And so much so that people here, the 3 generations of our people here, they have only learned in the textbook what they have been fed. It's a poison which has been infused in the mind of our people, that we are a separate. The fact is that the light that originated, it has spread over the whole land mass. And when they say Aryan is defined. In our literature, Yoga Vasisht, it talks about who is an Aryan. And Yoga Vasisht says, who is an Aryan? Kartabyam acharan kamam, akartabyam anacharan. Tishtati prakritacharo, yah sa arya iti asmrita. Kartabyam acharan kamam, akartabyam anacharan. Tishtati prakritacharo. Arya is one who is discreet, who has vivek. In Tamil we call vivegam. In Sanskrit, vivekam. You know. So he or she has a right conduct, conducts appropriately. Prakritacharo, time, deskal, time and space. Appropriate conduct. Right and wrong. The one has a discretion, who has a sense to discriminate right and wrong. And that is why, out of respect, people have been called Aryan. And here there are arguments to say that Ayya, when we use the word in Tamil, Ayya, is a Prakrit of Aryan. We say as respect. It's not a race. But this people, those who have created, and they have twisted, they have been fabricating it to serve their interest. I would urge, and I have expectation from this 2 days conference, that we should not just go into the nitty-gritty of what was the size of the jewelry and what is the pottery. But interpretation of past becomes relevant, and that is how it becomes relevant. It is relevant today because we have a future. It is a living because Vedas, what the light revealed, is the universal light. It is the light which in last year in the G20 when we had the presidency, when we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it comes from that. The world is a family. Kutumbam, Yadu Mure, Yavarum Kelir, what we have said, it is all one. It is that light. That civilization which created a Rashtra, not a political state. And we know what is Rashtra. Rashtra comes in our Vedic, right from the Rig Veda. The Rashtra is Bhadram Ekshanta Rishya, Swavida Tapo Diksham, Upniseduragra, Tato Rashtram Baramavajashta Jatam. When Vishwa Kalyankari, those rishis, those who had thought the well-being of the whole world, those hard labor, those who were aware of the Atmagyan, Swavida. And what is Atmagyan? Mam Atma Sarva Bhuta Atma. My self is the self of all. We are all one family. This unique light that was revealed during this civilization, Saraswati Sindhu civilization. This legacy that we have is a living legacy that has shaped Bharat. Bharat was never, some people ask, tell me, Mr. Governor, who was the ruler who ruled the whole country? My friend, Bharat was not defined by ruler. It's a unique country in the world, unique country. I challenge you, anyone, you give me an example. This country at no point of time was ruled by any one ruler. And yet, in all the parts of this country, you have places in the area of different kings, but that place belonged to the whole Bharat, not belong to them. Could Setupati say that Rameswaram belongs to him? No, cannot. Saurashtra king could not say that Somanath belonged to him. Kasi did not belong to Kashi Naresh. All over, through hundreds and hundreds of such places located, which belong to the whole Bharat, it did not belong to that king. And people of every part of the country had equal right there. When people, more than 60 crore people went to Kumbh, can you imagine ever, in the past or even in the future, anybody who is a ruler of that place who is controlling, no, I will not allow anyone to come here take bath. Just not possible. This is Bharat, no other country in the world you have. So Bharat is not a political state, it is a Rashtra. That is why Rashtra is defined in the Veda, that light, the light that came from the Veda, which is spread around, which has shaped our thinking, towards ourselves, towards the nature. That is why in every part of this country you go, traditionally people, they say, when they go and cut the tree, they do the prayer. I have need, so that is why I'm cutting you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. It is only the modern thought, mercantile thought, that we have been destroying this. Our original, the Vedic teachings are that we are all part of the family. They are all divine. Our rivers are divine, our rocks are divine, our plants are divine, animals are divine, every being is divine. It's an expression of divinity. And today when the world is in crisis, when the world is fighting on the verge of the threshold of destroying itself, this light is needed. That is why at the time of independence, Rishi Aurobindo, he had said, now the time has come to take this light to the rest of the world. Because Bharat, this light came to this area, this Saraswati Sindhu civilization area. It did not come just for itself. It didn't come just even for Bharat. It came for the whole world. Because we must live in harmony. We must coexist together happily. So we have an obligation. Bharat has an obligation, and when today Bharat is rising, with a clear sense of a goal that we must be a fully developed country, we must be a samartha country, we must be a capable country. Because if you are weak, this knowledge was there with us for thousands of years, but people didn't listen to us. Until 10 years back, whenever India spoke, people didn't take us seriously. Today it is not the case. Today when Bharat speaks, the whole world listens. It listens because we are becoming more and more capable. We have the confidence. And that confidence that comes is confidence from the continuity, civilizational continuity. We are not people who have created ourselves since yesterday or since 1947, no. Minimum 7,000 years. Because if we say that the Vedas were 2,000 years before, Mahabharata, and about 3,000 plus is before the Common Era, then obviously nearly 7,000 years minimum. It's a continuous civilization, a living civilization. And this civilization has to be rescued from the onslaught of vested interests who have tried to downgrade and downplay us. The country must rise, Bharat must rise with a, and it is rising with a sense of selfhood, self-pride. And to restore that pride, this civilization is crucial. We have to debunk all that, all the violence that has been caused to this civilization. And we must do it right from using the term. We shouldn't be shy of calling it Saraswati Sindhu civilization. It is important to know about the details of it, but it is more important to interpret it in the context of today so that it leads our path to tomorrow, a better tomorrow. And that is what is needed today. And that is what would be the expectation from these 2 days seminar. I am sure scholars will raise the issue, will take it forward. Students will ask critical questions. Please do that. Make this a churning so that the nectar of truth comes out of it, so that our path is cleared. All the obstacles that are here and there, they are removed. It must have a purpose. It cannot be purposeless. And I am sure these 2 days, it will serve the purpose. I have no doubt about it. I wish this conference very, very very, 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 very productive, fruitful. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening words. I'm sure his words have made everyone in this auditorium think about our history and ourselves. Thank you again, sir. Now that we have reached the end of this inaugural session, I request Mr. M. Kumaresan, convener, Center for South Indian Studies, Tamil Nadu, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yeah, very good morning. Vanakkam, all of you. I am feeling extremely proud and happy today to be standing here and witness this historic event take place. On this wonderful occasion, I am obliged to thank each and everyone behind the grand success of this inauguration of the National Conference on Indus Civilization, its culture and people, archaeology insights. First and foremost, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri R.N. Ravi, for accepting our request and gracing this occasion with his presence. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to our beloved guest, Dr. S. Kalyanaraman, for humbly accepting our invitation and making this event much more special by joining us. Thank you, Lord, sir. I also would like to thank Dr. Santosh Babu, Principal of DG Vaishnava College, and Thiru Ashok Kedia, Treasurer of DG Vaishnava College, for commendable support they have shown, which is major drive force behind this event. I would like to extend my gratitude towards Dr. Ramadevi Sekhar, Director, Center for Art and Excellence, for her constant support and encouragement throughout this journey. Thank you, ma'am. Last but the least, I convey my thanks from the bottom of my heart to all of my friends from the media team, police department, students, staffs and management of DG Vaishnava College, organizing committee, stage committee and wonderful audience for your presence and cooperation. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request the gathering to kindly rise up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय दाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all. Thank you very much. I request the audience to kindly remain standing until the guests leave.